Yes, we know.
We know everything. Thanks.
And you know nothing? Shame you're not a woman anymore. Because she'd have understood.
For all that power, but there is a way to get rid of it. Something a male-presenting Time Lord will never.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank. So, for those of you that don't know, this video is coming out Monday. It's going to be out at 12, and I've made it like a couple hours ago. I've been horribly under the weather. I think my cough is finally gone, and that's probably not gone. But anyway, I can finally start getting back to work, and I'm horribly behind. This should be a comic book day, but it's not. So, yeah, here we are. Merry fucking Christmas. But anyway, so here we are, the Star Beast. Doctor Who's back for his 60th anniversary, and when Russell was announced to come back, I was pretty excited, pretty happy. Like, hey, an experienced writer at the helm, the man behind Doctor Who's golden era. So, yeah, well, New Who's golden era anyway. And I was apprehensive because I flat out said sets a bad precedent. We cannot keep relying on people like Russell to come back, all right, and fix it every time the show gets a little bad. First of all, it's disingenuous, but apparently no, Russell's going to be back fully in the helm. And I thought, well, is David Tennant coming back? And that happened. Catherine Tate came back. Bernard Cribbins came back. R.I.P., you brilliant man. And yeah, so Russell is going to be, I guess, he's the king of Doctor Who now. He's the Lord President immemorial now. So, yeah, there's that now. And I'm willing to give just about anything a try, really, especially when it comes to Doctor Who. And it felt like, there's nowhere to go but up. And honestly, the Star Beast is a decent episode. It is. It's not amazing. I think if you take away the characters, not the characters, I think if you take away the strong performances, this actually is a very dull episode. I think this is one of those episodes that relies on the strength of its performers more than the actual story. There's not a lot here in terms of how great this adventure is. Yeah, we've revived this old Fourth Doctor comic strip story from Marvel with the Meep, literally called the Star Beast. And, yeah, I don't quite get the decision to not just bring David... Well, I get why they brought David Tennant back. If you're going to bring Russell back, you might as well bring back the most popular New Who era Doctor. But I would have gone full ham and just said, hey, he's back in his 10th body. Instead of this is a whole new body. Point out something really messed up has happened. Even he goes like, this isn't a new body. This is literally the one I was in. He's trying to figure it out. And then just have him end up in London, trying to avoid Donna. Instead, this episode implies that he's just been screwing around in the TARDIS and then happens to end up, in London with Donna during an invasion. And, yeah, it's really just Boomtown. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Aliens in London. This is just Russell doing Aliens in London again, but he's turned up the progressiveness. And let's just get this out of the way. Doctor Who is science fiction. Doctor Who is fantasy. Totally up to exploring progressive views in that medium, in that genre. It'd be disingenuous not to. The question is always, how are we doing it? And is it still a good story? I don't care what your message is if the story is good, alright? Like, I don't care if you have the best message ever. If the story is terrible, you've ruined the message. If the story is great, you've uplifted the message, alright? You've given people something to think about. And really, I would say this message is fine until the end, where it just drops the ball entirely, and I'm just kind of done. But anyway, this story starts off, I think, relatively well. I think it goes through all the necessary hoops to set up the eventual return of the Dr. Donna, which I didn't know anyone really wanted. Like, I get it. People want Donna back. They want Donna and Ten to go on adventures again. They want to continue the story from the parting of the ways and go from there. I never wanted that. maybe because I wasn't on the ground when, the Ten and Donna era was going on. Like, by the time I got to Doctor Who, Matt Smith was on his he was on his last half of his season. Like, Day of the Doctor was just a few months away when I got to Doctor Who. So, I'm just not the audience for this. So, I don't know. Let me see if I can adjust this camera a bit. Oop, no, this way. No. Get my full hands in. I think it's just me. There we go. So with that in mind, I might not be the right audience for that reunion. But granted, Catherine Tate does a great performance of feeling that something is a bit wrong, but she's still happy in the same way. Really, I'm more interested in Rose, because the impression first of all, I don't feel like the timeline's matching up. So this is supposed to be, I think, 2012 when we last saw 2012. Rose shouldn't be 18 if I'm going by the timelines right. She should be maybe 15, but I don't know. Whatever. Really, that timeline doesn't quite matter. If they're not going to bring it up, I'm not going to. It'll just be a plot hole for some people and just whatever for others. I hate the Meep. It's just there on the screen. I've said I hate it. But anyway, Rose, really, her entire character really is like, hey, she's transitioned. She used to be a boy. Okay? There are people that make fun of her for it. That sadly is the reality of life. People make fun of you for liking anime. So, yeah. Really messed up that they're calling her by her quote-unquote dead name. I think it's a really nice moment when Sylvia sort of slips and calls her by her dead name, because it is a weird transition for the family of people that go through that too. And she's, doing it as an honest slip up. She apologized. Donna's down everybody's throats, which is Donna in general. Donna is a fierce mother bear, all right, when it comes to that child, all right? Especially considering Donna, I don't think ever thought she would have children. Like, she wanted to have children more than anything. She wanted to be married. She wanted to be a mom. And so now she has a child. She is going to double down on protecting her child when she's going through that. I'm not mad at Donna for that at all. I applaud Donna for that. I applaud Rose for having the sort of tough skin she knows she's going to need to have if she's going to explore her identity like that. So, points to that. Yeah, there are going to be assholes throughout your entire life. That's just sort of the natural way of things. If you haven't learned that watching Doctor Who, I don't know what to tell you. Alright? Oddly enough, I think Davros would probably respect pronouns. No, like he would, but he's still going to realize you are inefficient. And Santarans have no, they don't. No, they don't. No. Cyber, like, no. There are no genders in Cybermen. But anyway. Then we come across this, while the Doctor's investigating the spaceship, he meets UNIT's new scientific advisor, who I didn't care to know the name of, but I'm looking forward to seeing more of what she does. I want to see more of what that wheelchair does, so that'll be great. At the same time, I'm sort of frustrated with the mystery of what's going on. He's like, why am I back to this face? And she's like, aren't you the 10th one? He's like, actually, no, I've wore a bow tie, I've been a Scotsman, I've been a woman. It's like, wait, how do you know about that? That's your future, isn't that look, first of all, let me tell you right now, I'm the Doctor, I do whatever I want in terms of my own continuity. There's been some very bad stories about me doing a sort of Time Lord Victorious mess. But he's pointing out, like, actually, no, I've been brought back to this, and I've been brought back to Donna, and, like, something's pulling them back together again. And this was this weird sort of thing in the end of time in Russell's era, that this sort of concept of destiny and everything pulling things together. And usually that was the Ood who, like, have manifested great psychic powers, and also to some level Donna has been manipulating things so that they're all coming together. So on some unconscious level, the Dr. Donna is bringing everything together. The question is, why? So the Doctor has to try to navigate through all this without trying to get Donna to remember him. Because remember, if she remembers, then the Dr. Donna persona comes out and she'll burn. Like, her brain will fry. And so we sort of go through that. We sort of go through that adventure. Rose finds the Meep in her shed, and she tries to, make her little online craft business, because everyone's doing that nowadays. I have a friend, she's doing it. If I was more impressive, I'd probably share that, but yeah, I don't think it would matter. She doesn't need my input. She does better than me. So yeah. Then the problem is I think I said it, and I'm going to say it again. I hate the Meep. I hate the design. I hate the little hands. I just hate it. It's the pating all over again. And yes, this is a classic era monster from the Doctor Who Marvel comics. The Star Beast with the Fourth Doctor. You probably saw the image up there. So yeah, I just hate the thing. I love this. I love these guys though. But the whole thing, I hate Furbies. They freak me out, and this reminds me too much of a Furby. All right. And those little toys for the owls from the Guardians of Ga'Hoole. But anyway. So the thing is, then with the Doctor and Inverly ends up there, meets the Meep, and they have a discussion about the Meep. He's like, "I'll get you home. I'll get him home soon." Rose like, "What? How do you assume he's a male?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't." And people, this is sort of the moment that I think a lot of people who sort of bristle and rustle against sort of SJW woke stuff sort of twitch a bit, like that little alarm goes off, and it's because they're sort of hypersensitive to it, right? Because they've seen a lot of bad stories, there's a lot of discussion be had about it, which, and this is me being generous to sort of, because I've been on both sides, all right, that any critique of this gets you labeled a bigot. I'm like, well, no, I just think the story's told badly. Well, you just don't like trans people. Like, no, it's nothing to do with that. Honestly, that entire scene just should have been delivered better. I think Meep should have brought that up, and Rose should have found comfort in that. That hey, there are beings in space that, you know, don't have the same concept of identity as everyone else does here. So, you know, I'm not that alone. That's sort of an interesting thing too, where the Meep is sort of bonding with Rose. Of that, like, hey, we're out. You know, I'm not an outsider where I'm from. You're an outsider here. I don't see you as an outsider. I see you as pretty normal. I think that would have been fun. Some people bring it up like, oh, how does David Tennant feel about this? David Tennant apparently has I don't want to misgender this child. Has a child that is apparently non-binary. I think that child is one of the leads in House of the Dragon. Aegon, I believe. So that's cool again. So I think David's happy to bring up that sort of visibility to that LGBT community, and I'm happy to see anybody in Doctor Who, as long as they can act and aren't terrible people. John Barrowman. Oh gee, what was that? So that to me was nothing. Really, the best thing about the Meep is revealed the Meep is actually evil. So the first time we get a proper non-binary villain, a non-binary species in Doctor Who, it's evil. Love it. Bold Russell. I don't think it's trying to imply anything. I think it's just stupidly funny. But I think the reveal of the Meep being evil should have been different. I think the Meep and the Doctor should have been pulling Donna and her daughter on different sides. Like, you know, the Donna feels like she can trust the Doctor. Rose feels she can only trust the Meep. And then she finds out the Meep is evil and goes from there. I think that would have been more interesting than just sort of like courtroom and like, hold on. We only have so much runtime. Let's just cut the chase now and do this. We spent a lot of time setting this up. So let's just cut the fat and go here. And so it turns out, yeah, Meep is evil. Meep's being hunted because the Meep is a criminal. They're all insane. And they are being humanely hunted down. Like, this invasion is actually pretty tame. Every weapon here is set to stun. No, like the ones that look bad, like, no, we're trying to do this humanely and safely and get in and out as quickly as possible. I like that bit. I like the bit the Shadow Proclamation came up again. I felt that was a mistake for Moffat's world building. But then again, he went with the Papal Mainframe and the Church of the Silence. So he was really trying to set up his own thing. But I really think the Shadow Proclamation should have been a thing throughout the entirety of Doctor Who. I think it would have added a lot more credence to the entire New Who era had just that been allowed to be a fixture. But that's just me. So then, Meep's evil. Meep kidnaps people, and we're all trying to figure out how to get out. They get out because Unit Scientific Advisor comes in with her combat wheelchair, shooting missiles and whatnot. Very clever, very fun. The Doctor trying to, okay, I have to stop the Meep ship because it'll destroy London if we don't. And they goes in. Don's like, no, I have to help, and goes through there. And then the Doctor like, okay, I got this from here. And then is like, they get separated. Like there's like a little screen between them, so the Doctor can't get to the other side of the computer. So he's like, so Don's like, you have to help release that part of me so I can help out. He's like, no, but you'll burn. It also starts to recreate the scene from the other time. It goes, it's not fair. I'm like, this is, yeah, okay, I get it. Member berries. Russell, you're better than this. Or are you not better than this? Time will tell. It always does. One of my favorite 7th Doctor lines. So the Doctor then starts reciting, like, I guess this sort of, like, code which releases the Dr. Donna, which to me felt a bit weird. Like, if he could always do it, did that imply that it had to be triggered to begin with? I don't know. It's, like, weird. Maybe it makes more sense when you, like, take a step back. Maybe the idea is that he can release it naturally, but he knows what will happen. But if too much time is spent on her own around the Doctor, it'll happen gradually. But the way the Doctor talks about it implied that if it happened for even a second, her brain would just fry. As a matter of fact, the end of time sort of implied that too. Like, even slightly remembering the Doctor caused her to have a headache. Here she seems fine. Like, she's not slowing down, she's not woozy. And then, okay, the Dr. Donna comes up, she helps out, they destroy the ship, they have a back and forth banter. Apparently Donna gave up like 1.6 million pounds to help other people across the world. I'm like, so you bought a house, you didn't set up like a trust fund for your child, like, hey, college, like, no, she'll be fine. Had Harry Jones been allowed to be prime minister, still, maybe he would have been, but the Doctor stopped that, so London's golden age never got to happen. So this is still the Doctor's fault, specifically the 10th Doctor's fault. So there's that. But so anyway, the day's saved, Meep's arrested, and Meep says, like, the boss will do this. So some people think the boss is going to be Shudigawa, the 15th Doctor. Some think the boss is going to be the dream of the toy maker. More likely is the best choice. Some think it's going to be me. Yeah, I have a cameo set in the final episode where I will reveal myself to be the one behind everything. I'll be in the background. Blink, you'll miss me, but I'm in there. Then this is where the episode just starts to fall apart. So it's revealed that one of the reasons Donna's not really burning out right away is because she passed on a portion of it to Rose when she had her, which to me doesn't quite make sense. So we've never had any indication that anything like that can be passed on genetically. So regenerations don't pass on from parent to child. It's been implied that it can be. I haven't heard any real definitive evidence to that in the expanded materials. Maybe it can be. In regards to... Yeah, we're going off tangent here because I really don't care about this episode. Susan's son, I can never remember his name. David. I think his name was David. No, David was her husband. Was it Michael? We'll call him Michael for now. Correct me in the comments section. I don't care to look this up right now. The 8th Doctor isn't sure about whether or not Michael is a Gallifreyan or a Time Lord. Like, what percentage is he of it? We don't even know if Susan can regenerate. So it implies that it can't be passed on genetically. As a matter of fact, Time Lords have to go a process to be able to regenerate. It's a whole thing. Like, every Gallifreyan is not a Time Lord. But up until this whole New Who mess, well, actually up until River, it was understood that all Time Lords are Gallifreyan, but all Gallifreyans are not Time Lords. Time Lord is a subspecies of Gallifreyan, alright? You go to the Academy, you earn the rank of Time Lord, and you gain the ability to regenerate. It's kind of it. And to me, that made perfect sense. So now, I guess because she has a Time Lord brain, that implies she can regenerate? or at least give that sort of Time Lord brain out, and we get the binary, and then it's like, hey, I'm not binary because I'm trans. I'm like, wait, that doesn't, like, I'm still trying to figure out how her being trans means anything, because realistically, there's nothing biologically different with her. All right. Okay, so she has is thing. So let's be entirely generous. Let's be as bare bones as possible here. So she was biologically born a boy, transitioned to a woman. Now, if she's had surgery, yeah, we're this video is all kinds of inappropriate now. If she's had the surgery, which I probably did, she's missing something. That's kind of it. But she's calling herself a girl, which again is fine. It's because she identifies as having been identifies as a different gender than she was born as. Somehow that tricks the Time Lord matrix in the Time Lord brain. Like, oh yeah, okay, sure. She thinks she says she's this. Okay, fine. This whole thing is kind of messed up. This whole stupid thing, like, yeah, we know everything now, and you know nothing. Yeah, shame you're not a woman, because she'd get it. Something only a male presenting Time Lord wouldn't get. I'm like, this is so mean-spirited. Like, why? It's like, I think it would have been better if the whole thing was you were so set on, keeping me safe, Doctor, you never thought of just giving it up. Because really, the Doctor was trying to just keep Donna safe. Alright? And he felt the best way was just to lock that away. It felt like we were trying to get this whole, like, no, you shouldn't lock away a part of yourself. You should always keep it out. But if it's going to kill you, yeah. And you're like, okay, we're doing something that, a male presenting Time Lord would never get. We're going to let it go. I'm like, did you just make a Frozen reference? Just let this power go. And what does this do? What does it do? He just goes away and we're fine? And all of a sudden Rose's like, I feel better now. I'm like, so is this all because you've had a Time Lord brain in you? So here's the thing. Technically, that Time Lord brain is a foreign entity that shouldn't be there to begin with. Like, technically, she's 3 people. Technically, the Time Lord brain, by default, she is 1 part her father, 1 part her mother. So yeah, 3. Technically, yes. But really, no, because her dad is kind of a joke character. He's just sort of there, like, I'm happy to be part of a family. Yeah, my wife gave away 1.6 million pounds. Like, we didn't need it. Now I'm working like 3 jobs. Because Donna can't keep what? I don't know. It's just sort of so weird. But that entire thing there, to me, just sort of soured the episode. Because at best, it's a poorly thought out, stupid, the epitome of a woke SJW moment. It is like, as someone who had an anti-SJW phase and still kind of has one, I still sort of roll my eyes at the constant debate going on. Because we really haven't found, there's no consensus of where any of us can meet in the middle on this. Like, a lot of us have like, okay, yeah, this worked, this didn't work, and it hurt the entire story for it. Or this didn't work, and this worked, and that sort of helps anchor the story. Rarely does both sides get along to agree with that. So anytime something perpetuates this argument on either side, I am just sort of like, here we go again. And lo and behold, I've been on the internet, and yeah, it's there. Bolstrek is back with a vengeance, and I enjoy Bolstrek. I do. I've probably lost some subscribers for that, but I do. I think his outrage is always fun. He'll have some good points, some points I disagree with. That's the whole point of discourse. Clownfish TV is one of my favorites, along with that was fun. I think they all sort of agreed on the most part that really that scene is where they all just sort of felt lost. They all felt like, Russell has sort of left us. Russell has sort of pointed out we don't matter. So we go from there. Because that entire scene felt unearned, preachy, and self-righteous. And no one that wasn't earned. But anyway, whatever. So then we get a new TARDIS interior. And I don't like it personally. It's too empty and whatnot. I heard some stuff from the people who designed it, and she's like this huge fan. She loved the old classic design. She wanted to bring the classic era, white walls and sort of like a big space to the new Who era, which I thought, you know what, I appreciate the passion for it. It's just not my favorite design. I do like the console, though. I do like the console. My favorite is still going to be 11 and 12's TARDIS. That sort of dark room with the atmosphere, and the sort of the balcony and the bookshelves and the workbench. I like that era of the TARDIS. That's my favorite one. This one here, too bright. Apparently all the lights can change colors. They can write messages. So this is sort of Doctor Who embracing the big money that it's always kind of wanted. And I hope it doesn't lose anything because of that. But anyway, whatever. So yeah, ultimately I don't hate this episode. I'm disappointed in some of the decisions made. I expect... It's hard to say. Like, some people... Like, I talked to the head of Black Glove Studios. And he and I have got a great... he and I have talked a lot about Doctor Who over the couple years. As a matter of fact, as much as we don't like the 13th Doctor, I don't think he's realized we met over the course of my 13th Doctor video. So there's that. But anyway, what was interesting about the discussion we had was that he's of the opinion that Russell, like, if you don't like Russell in these specials, you're not going to like his era. Like, this is Russell. This is who he is. Who he's always been, who he probably was, like, teasing a bit during his actual first era in Doctor Who, but now that he's put in charge, is the Doctor Who president immemorial until further notice. This is going to be who he is. This is Russell going full hinge. Or maybe not. Maybe this is a little slip up in the... I haven't watched Wild Blue Yonder yet, so who knows. Ultimately, I'm still going to watch Doctor Who. Look, if I watch the Whittaker era, I'm going to watch this. Alright? But we've hit the point now where I used to watch Doctor Who like the second it came on. Alright? If I was at work, I would have DVR'd it when I came home. Like, let's just not even take the uniform off. Let's just watch it and go from there. Now I'm like, you know what? I'll get to it when I get to it. I expect I'll be enjoying David Tennant's performance, Bernard Cribben's, Yasmin Finney's performance, but I also hope that I will come out of this liking everyone. Here's the thing. I want to like Rose. I do. I think Yasmin Finney did a great job with the material she's given. And I want her to endear herself to the fan base. I know she has fans already, and more power to her for that. I hope she keeps them. And I hope she finds other work outside of this. But until then, whatever. I'm sort of neutral on all of it. Anyway, except for that last scene, because oh my god, I hate it. But anyway, with that in mind, let's bring this to a close. If you're new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some of the videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well. Because this didn't.